I have that situation right now, Shantae. I met a guy who checks all the boxes, every last one of them. Like, I mean, it's just like a calm in the middle of a storm. Like, he does not want no more kids, and he is serious about it. Got a snip, snip. I am not having no more kids. My children are going to be grown still. And we met, and it was kind of like worlds collide. And I'm like, I want to have children. Like, I can't give that up. I'm not giving that up. And I just had
Is
to,
that
I
a
don't,
non-negotiable for you, Christine? Like, is the connection enough to satisfy that need of maybe I could
I
be
go,
fulfilled
I
without
go
children?
back and forth a lot about this because I mean, I have never had a connection like this before in my entire life.
But
And
does he go back and forth?
so so we started out as like our lives don't align. Our very first date was intentional. We talked about everything. It wasn't like no fluff. It was like, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. And we shut down the restaurant. I've never been on a date for like hours and hours, right? To the next day you're texting, I'm getting on a flight, and the communication's been like that since the moment I met him. And he's shown time and time again that he shows up for me. There's a level of protection. There's, I wouldn't even, honestly, I wasn't even going to do this because after I spoke with him, he was like, why would you give up an opportunity like this? It's stuff like that where, there's a little bit of support in the background where you're like, dang, I'm trying not to like you because that is a major thing for me to have kids. And we go back and forth about it all the time. We've known each other now almost a year. And it's like, what are we doing? That's a question that we ask ourselves all the time. It's like, what are we doing? Because I know that you fulfill a lot. I mean, he told me yesterday, like if there was that, if you didn't want to have kids, you'd be my wife. Like, it's really, it's hard. It's hard. The dynamic of it is hard. So that major break really could be a defining point in the direction of my life. And he's like, I know I don't want to keep that from you. So continue to look. I hope you find what you're looking for. And same with him, but we still find ourselves back. So it's hard.
Oh, that's a big one because I understand. Like I have kids, and the love you have for your kid is so strong, but at the same time, it's so hard to find that perfect mate. So that's a big one.
Yeah, he's a great father. He's not out. He's got great financial goals. I mean, like all the things that you're looking for in the gym. Like he's attractive. Attractive to me. So it's like all those boxes of things that where I'm at in my life is what I'm looking for, and what I don't know if I manifested him up because you put out in the world what you need and it finds you. Because I met him in the club, Tam, which is wild. He was out one night.
It's wild.
Right. He was out with his friends.
Atlanta club.
He doesn't even live in the perimeter.
Oh, okay.
So he was out with his friends and I was out. I don't go out a lot either. And I said, I'm gonna go out tonight. And he walked past and I was just like, I like that.
I'm going to tell you this, Christina. You're coming up with these questions, and it makes me want to ask some more questions because my next question to you is, what if you let him go and you never find another guy like that, but then you do find a guy who you're more compatible with, but the love is just not as strong? Because that's possible.
I have met.
That's more possible than not.
It is. I have dated other men since him. And there is a compatibility factor, but it definitely feels like there's something missing, and certain things I don't compare. I try not to compare him to like new men that I meet. But if anything, from our relationship, he's helped me grow. That's the other thing. Like, are you dating intentionally? Like, he would ask me questions that I'm like, I don't ask that when I go on dates. And now it's kind of like I'm asking men these direct questions that he's helped me like identify, you know? To be
How old is he? I'm sorry.
And what's the question so I can write this down?
I mean, it's interesting. I'm glad that you're bringing. Like, how old is he though?
He's 38. He's
so he's not even that old. That's pretty decent. That's not a.
Yeah, no, he's 38, and I've said this, like, I believe in season, reason, lifetime. There's a reason why people come in your life, whether it be a season or whether it be a lifetime. And I generally do not talk to men after that relationship has closed. It's like, that's closed. But there's a level of friendship there that is beyond any type of relationship or friendship that I've had with a man before, you know, where it's like we're talking about anything and everything under the sun and being completely vulnerable, and you can be completely transparent, and it's not like there's no judgment, zero judgment whatsoever. And it's hard to find. It is where you see this, but if you know the real me, I'm like really sporty, laid back, no wig, just throw on a slap cap and just, you know, be hanging out. And I could be like that with him versus like I could put myself together too. So I think that's also something that is a non-negotiable for me, is that I can be 100% myself and it's not going to be judged. And it's, you know, you're completely transparent, and that person is like, you know what? I like this transparency about you. I like who you are, who you truly are. Because a lot of people show up as an interview. First couple of dates, this is who I am. And then a few months later, it's like, nah, that's not who I am actually. You know, it's like, and they're like, whoa, who is this person in front of me? So that's a non-negotiable for me. So that's why I say when my standards are realistic, they're realistic standards.
But maybe he has helped you set a standard, because now I think what's going to end up happening, from what I believe, is that you've got this guy and now everybody has to beat this guy.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that it might.
I don't think so, because
yeah,
I don't think that he has raised like the standard of.
I don't think he's raised the standard. I think that you're going to be looking for that feeling.
I think it's the connection.
It's a connection.
I feel like you can have these.
You're gonna feel cheated, because if you don't get what that connection gave you, you're gonna feel cheated, because you're gonna always go like, "Dang, well, I had this with that person."
But I feel like you could
have
that.
You would never feel cheated if you had that connection with yourself. You know, Shantae, the question that you like brought up, I feel like not even women in general, but a lot of people in general have. It's like a limiting mindset where, like, you know, fear is a loop and it keeps feeding you fear and it wants you to remain in fear. Like, you know, it's beneficial for him to have you around and not meet all of your standards, because he's still getting what he wants. And the fear in you is like, well, what if I never get that feeling again? What if no, versus changing the mindset to what if yes, and co-creating all of the specific possibilities that could happen when yes happens with a man that will show up for you the way that you want him to show up for you as, and provide you with more life. And just, you know, what if yes? And so I feel like a lot of the times we limit ourselves with that limited mindset thinking and getting stuck in loops of fear and those intrusive thoughts that literally weigh us down, because that's their cycle. It's like, they're supposed to keep doing that. And then we feed ourselves even more, versus, you know, shifting the mindset, which is a lot easier said than done. Because, you know, I have intrusive thoughts sometimes too, where it's like, well, what if it doesn't work out? What if I can't do this? What if, you know, I'm not going to have everything that I have now? Like, and, you know, it really limits us and what we can receive from ourselves and from the universe. And I feel like, you know, just kind of like doing my own work, it's made me realize that a lot of the feelings that I look for in other people, I haven't been providing for myself. And so I've really been like taking the time to like go out and like walk by myself and not listen to music, or like go out and eat by myself, like just literally loving on me so that I'm not having that void filled by other people that can't fulfill themselves, number one, and in turn can't fully fulfill me either in what, you know, I need from the relationship. But yeah, Queen, if he don't Let that man.
Well, so basically, Della, you're saying you don't mind being a golden girl.
I don't think that's
Did y'all see
That's what I heard. Golden girl.
Bella is okay with.
me and Moo.
I saw your cat.
Honey.
But no,
Betty Davis. I mean, Betty White.
I feel like there could be that feeling is not a feeling is a feeling. Whether
But you know what? Listen, I have spent a lot of time with myself because I'm not one to rush into a relationship. And it feels totally different from being with a man.
right, but then that's what Bella's saying though. That conception, like
listen, but I love me some me.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I love me some me. I walk every day and I'll enjoy the me time, but it's not the same as
But that's true. But when you're so single, though, your mentality, though, is when you meet something that's like, okay, this is nice. It has to be it.
No. Yes, I get it. I get it. So
yeah, no.
Scarcity mind frame. Absolutely. No, I get that part, and I think that's truly important. And it's so crazy because we're talking about the female side. It's also important that when people are listening to this, there's a male side to that as well, which we can't speak on because we're not men. So we can only control our side. And that is so important. You're absolutely right, Deli. We have to be happy with ourselves, be able to, set a standard for ourselves and stick with it because we're happy with ourselves. If he doesn't do what he's supposed to do, we're willing to walk away. So I completely agree with that.